Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Moms in Real Estate. Talitha Powers is our guest today. She's an incredible woman. I can't wait for you to hear her story. And so let's just get started.
Angela Fazio is an industry powerhouse who has overseen 40,000 homes sold and $9 billion in production. And Kristen Cantrell is one of the nation's most accomplished team leaders, helping thousands of agents build their businesses. They are passionate about educating, encouraging, and empowering moms in real estate. Our next episode starts now.
Hello, ladies. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello. Good morning.
We are so excited to have you on today, and our audience is going to love your story. So get us started and introduce yourself a little bit.
Well, I'm Talitha Powers. I'm here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I have been in the real estate industry about 8 years, and then in the retail side of it for about 2. And I'm a new mama. I have a one. Well, he's going to turn 1 on Saturday. It's a little boy, and yeah, kind of the basics.
I love your story. I want to start with because one of the purposes of the show is to encourage, right? And you have a really encouraging journey, both personally and in your real estate career. So tell us a little bit about the progression of your career, how you started and where and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah. Gosh, about 8 years ago, I started in new builds. And here in Colorado, you can do new builds without a license. So I started that way, kind of to get my feet wet. I loved it. I stayed in it for about 6 years. It was a great learning tool for me. And that is actually where I met my team lead, Ryan Moberly. I sold him his new home. And that's kind of where he was like, hey, you need to come to this side of things and join me. So I did. I took the jump. It was terrifying, but I started as a full-time assistant just so I could learn that side of things. It was definitely different than new builds. So full-time assistant with him. And on top of that, I went ahead and started making sales as well. I had like Zillow leads and things like that I would convert. And within my first year, I got pretty busy to the point where I couldn't be the full-time assistant anymore. So we brought on a new assistant, Shara, and then we also brought on a new team member, Becky. So I trained both of them. I took the role as team manager, got them both trained up, and then full-time agent on the team. So that's kind of 2020 was my first year as full-time agent, and it was pretty good, even with COVID.
Well, it's so great to hear that story because you have so many people that get into real estate in a different role, and it kind of like can morph, and it can morph in all different ways. I love being able to show how your story, how you went from new builds to an assistant to a team manager to, hey, I'm on my own now. And all doing that, you have, you got a little baby. So tell us about that.
I've always known since I was about 18 that I could never have kids of my own. And it's something I share with many people. I like to share my story even with my clients. And I did have one client who added me on Facebook, and we became friends. And I had made a post one week just talking about my struggles and my desire to be a mom. And she contacted me and said, hey, my sister is pregnant, and we'd love to have you meet her, and you guys consider adopting the baby. So that's kind of where it started. It's a beautiful friendship now. I mean, I was able to go to every doctor's appointment and be a part of everything, and also be there when he was born. So it was pretty awesome.
That gives me goosebumps, and it's like the third time I think that you've told me that. I just love that story. It's so beautiful.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah. It's so crazy. I think I was asking you before, like, how did they know to come to you and say, would you adopt this baby? Because I feel like I don't think anybody would come to me and say that, but obviously, like, you have that story. And so is that like they knew your backstory, right?
Yeah, they knew my backstory. We became personal friends, after they had purchased their home. So they knew me pretty well, and I still was shocked by it, because that's definitely not a phone call you ever think you're gonna get. You ever think you're gonna get? You know?
Ever get it?
Yeah.
No, yeah. Everyone always told me, you know.
I mean, think about that. God is so, so gracious, because he knew before you even knew, he knew he had that baby for you. And it was a blessing to your friend's sister, and an absolute blessing to you. I just love to see God work through circumstances.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Yes. And how about you tell everyone too? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
I was saying, so tell everyone too, like, you're actually adopted yourself as well.
Yes. So my mom got pregnant with me pretty young. And she, at the time, we were pretty much home. She was pregnant with me. And she met a family through her local church that took her in. I've always called them my adopted grandparents, because they were the first ones there. And she started going to the church. She met one of the pastor's sons, and he had actually seen her shortly after she had me. And he said, you know, I saw this beautiful lady get out of the car, and she had this little newborn girl. And the moment I saw both of you, I said, those are going to be my girls. And yeah, it makes me want to cry. And yeah, he fought for three long years to adopt me, and finally did. And it is the biggest blessing of my life. He truly is the best father I could have ever had. And he is the big reason that I wanted to adopt as well. The love that he showed me, and just everything he gave me in life, I wanted to give to another child. So it was big for me.
I feel like a horrible person. Like, oh my God,
you are not a horrible person. I know, it really is such a cool story. I love it.
Yeah, I know. And then you have a heart for heroes too. So tell us about how you got to, because you do that, you give back through your real estate. And how did that progress? I don't think I asked you, like, why? Like, why do you have such a passion to that a little bit?
So when I joined the team, that was a huge thing for Ryan, and he's really big on the Homes for Heroes. He had already been in that. And that is definitely a hard topic. I mean, we've seen that with wanting to add people to our team. They're like, oh my gosh, no, like I can't give up, 30% of my commission. And it is a lot. But it's rewarding. I mean, in Colorado Springs, we've got about 3 military bases here. So we have a lot of military. But on top of that, for our heroes, it's military, it's police officers, firefighters, all of our law enforcement, all of our medical, even teachers. They're a really big hero for us as well. So it's big here. And also, I know me personally, I didn't get in the business just for the money. I wanted to help people. I feel that you're helping people with one of the biggest decisions of their life. And they need someone there that's going to not just be there for the paycheck. They need someone that's going to guide them and hold their best interests and give back to them. And so that's just something that is very close to my heart. And I love that we're able to give back. It makes me happy every time I get that email that says, that they got their check or anything like that, because I know that it is so helpful. I mean, moving in itself is expensive. So, but yeah, it's a very big passion of ours.
Yeah, that's really great, because I love what you said about, your passion that you have for serving. I think real estate is an excellent ministry, in my opinion, because you're always moving with some other life event, like almost always. You're getting married, or you're having a baby, or you're divorcing, or something else is always happening at the same time. And so we get to not only help them find their home or sell their home, but we get to help them through that very emotional process, which I used to love that. But now I help realtors, because they're emotional too. But it's an awesome career. It's an awesome career. So what are your plans? Tell us about, like, do you have any big plans? Do you have any goals that you're shooting for this year?
So I am normally a very reserved person, so this is completely out of my comfort zone. But I decided, it's a good way to start the year is to just push myself to get out of my comfort zone. I put a video out the other day, earlier this week, on my page, and just said, my goal is to be more intentional and to just kind of step out of that comfort zone. I want to be able to continue to serve my clients in the best way I can possible. So I think by doing this, I can, and I can serve our team as well. So. Yeah.
Wow. I would not have guessed you're reserved. You're so easy to talk to.
Oh yes, I am very shy.
Okay, I bet I do have a question for you, because I feel like there's a lot of people that are either assistants or transaction coordinators, and they've always thought about, should I go on my own? When is a good time to go on my own? And it is scary. You kind of remove that security blanket that you have. And so tell us, what was that like for you? And what advice would you give to somebody that wants to do it but is scared?
So in honesty, it was absolutely terrifying. I kept doubting myself, like, am I making the right decision? This is, I'm leaving that comfortable paycheck, that I get. And, but I just made the jump, and I kind of knew, just because my plate was getting too full, and I wasn't able to give my clients the full attention that they needed. So that's kind of how I knew it was time, even though everything I knew was screaming no. So I made the jump, and just went head on. And I guess that's what I would tell other people that are doing that. It's terrifying, it's scary, but sometimes to be successful and to get what you want in life and achieve your dream, you just have to jump. And you don't know what's going to happen at the end. You don't know if you're going to fall. And even if you do, it's okay, because I truly believe that failures and all of that is what helps us to become successful. You can't be successful without those. So, but yeah, I would just say jump.
Yeah, that's great advice. And it's so true. Like, I never am upset if I fail at something. I'm like, okay, get back up and try again. It's like what you learn when you're little, and it morphs you into the person that, it helps everything. I never, ever care if I fail.
Yeah. Well, if you fail, then you've experienced it, and it's good, because then you can go and reach out to somebody who's failed and encourage them, it's strengthening to fail. And I never understood people who shy away from failure or shy away from things because they don't want to fail. It's literally the blessing is on the other side of failure. And that's just always true. So I admire your attitude about that. That is just like, you can hardly stop somebody who has an attitude like that. So that's exciting.
I know.
So I should have asked you this before, but anybody who's watching this or listening to this wants to be involved with Homes for Heroes, how do they?
So you have to go ahead and get in contact with Homes for Heroes directly. So you can go to their website. They have a bunch of things about details about how to do that. There's a way for lenders to get involved as well, which is really awesome, so that, the agent's giving back to the client, but so can the lender. So it's awesome. They will basically kind of give you the rundown of how it works, set you up with a lender that's in your area, in your zip code. You can even kind of purchase your own zip code to where, you're able to have that as your own, and no other agent. But yeah, it's a pretty easy process. And they've got lots of training and pretty interactive. I mean, they're great people. So.
Okay, good. Thank you. I want to make sure people know how to get involved. So tell us about now you were telling us, I think before, or did we say on the show what your husband does?
Yes. So he, right now, he's an apprentice, but he is going to be a lineman. He started his first year doing that. So he's definitely got a busy schedule and a very dangerous job. So he's gone quite often.
Yeah, right.
That job would be terrifying.
Yeah. He's like, I try not to tell you much about exactly what I do, because I just don't want you to even have to worry.
Wow. But, imagine that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So are there lots of people on your real estate team, or is it just you, Ryan, and the other people?
So right now it's just 4 of us. This year we're looking to add more to the team. So hopefully adding another agent, trading up another admin member as well, just because our poor TC was with the 3 of us had such a great year that she's like, I need help. So big year for the team.
That's awesome. It's a great place. Colorado Springs is a beautiful place to do business, except when it's.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yes, that's the worst.
It is. I don't miss the snow. That's for sure. So what advice would you give people coming out of new builds? Because you have a lot of vast experience, because people think that selling new builds and selling resales is similar, but it's not at all.
No, it's not. So it's definitely a whole new mindset. With new builds, you're trained you're there for the builder. So, you're looking out for them, not as much as the client. And it's definitely having to shift your mindset and realize, okay, it's not all about the sale anymore. It's not all about getting somebody under contract. It's about improving someone's life, helping them make the right decision, and guiding them in the right way, even if that means you're not going to get that paycheck or, a big paycheck. So it's definitely switching your mindset a little bit from that, because it's definitely different.
I've talked to a lot of real estate agents that moved from new home sales into resale, and I've never heard anyone say that before, what you just said. Never, not once. Kristen, have you ever heard anyone say that?
No.
That is so insightful, because if you think
it really is.
It's like working, it's a stupid analogy. It's like working in a retail store. You're there to sell the stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you're going after. Everybody who walks through the door, you want to sell them stuff. And that's like a new build. And so it is a completely different mindset. Well said.
Yep. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I would not like new builds. That would bore the heck out of me.
Well, I think the other part everyone talks about is like the flexibility factor isn't there, right? So a lot of people leave new builds because a lot of moms leave new builds because they do want that flexibility. Where new builds, like, you're there all the time and you're there on the weekend.
Holidays. Yeah.
Yep.
I talked to a new build agent not too long ago, and she was like, I just got sick of not being able to go to church.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Church, because she had to get over to the all the way across town to the new build community. So that's better. Good. So if anyone's thinking resale, new home, go resale. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, you have been a wealth of knowledge today. I know that we're going to be pointing to this episode for those pieces of advice. You are a lovely person. I am so grateful for being on the show, and you shouldn't hide yourself from anyone, because you'd be robbing people of a lot of joy. So I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on.
Of course, thank you guys.
Yeah,
that was so fun.
For a minute, when I say goodbye to everyone, don't jump off. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you are, hopefully this worked. I tried to get it live on Sam Staskall's page. So if you're listening on Sam Staskall's page, I hope that you enjoyed this episode and tune in every Thursday. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next week.